Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Troy Hardy. I'm with the Auckland Rugby League and we're live coming to you from Unitech Stadium. This is round 10 of the SAS Fox and we have Point Chevalier up against the mighty Sea Eagles, the Papakura Sea Eagles today, and we'll be kicking off that match at 2:30 live down here. So make sure that you share the link out there off the Auckland Rugby League website. That's aucklandleague.co.nz. First off, we're going to interview the head coach from Point Chevalier. Come in, Zane. Good to see you, mate.
You too, mate. Thanks for being here.
So come in, I'll make a little bit of room there for us,
Two
man.
big boppers.
There you go. Mate, first question for today. You know, we're coming into the first game of the second round, game 10. Point Chevalier find themselves on the top of the draw, on the top of the ladder. Are you happy with that? And if not, why not?
No, we're definitely happy to be sitting where we are. We were probably lucky to pick up a couple of wins. They were nail-biters in that round, so carrying the injuries that we have, we're pretty happy to be sitting in first place, but we're not going to rest on our laurels.
I'm told that Tana Rapira is off to the Burleigh Bears, mate. His last game today for the Pirates. Is there anything special lined up for him today? Yeah,
definitely. I mean, Tane's been with us for 5 years and he was there for the 3 Fox titles, so it's a very emotional time for the boys. He's been a big part of our squad, and we'll make a tunnel, and at the club there'll be a ceremony saying goodbye to him and his partner, but we just really want to send him with our best blessings, and he's done awesome for the club over the last 5 years or so.
So a big shout out to all the Pirates fans down there. Make sure that you get on the live stream and share and like and make that farewell something memorable for him. In regards to the squad we've just touched on, halfway into the season with injuries and what have you, what's your squad look like? Have you got a full team?
We definitely have a few injuries, but what we have. So we're completely confident with the players we've put out there. We have lost a few big names by the name of Adam McCarthy and Gumby and Sola Solomona, but it just gives an opportunity for a young guy who's bringing energy into the team, so we're quite happy with our depth.
And I'm told we didn't touch on Siwa. Si was not in the team, but not due to injury, so can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, Si was on parental leave, but he might have had a little bit of a suspension that he had to get cleared as well. We apologise for those antics, but no, he's normally, based on his track record, extremely humble player, and he's glad to be back involved as of next week.
Awesome, mate. And finally, for the Autex Pirates, if we can touch on what's the strategy today? The weather's fine, the ground looks pretty firm. How are we going to beat the Sea Eagles?
To be honest, it's more about trying to get to completions. Papakura is dangerous at any part of the field. The more time we can retain the ball, probably the better. At no stage are we going to feel comfortable until probably their final whistle's gone. So we'll get to our kicks and just trust our process and see where we're sitting at the back end of the game.
Awesome, mate. Look, finally, the official match ball for the Auckland Rugby League is the Steeden ball, obviously. So here's the game ball for you. And good luck for today's match and for the rest of the season.
Cheers, and good luck to Kura.
Cheers. Awesome. I'm going to hand over to Corey now, and he'll be interviewing the head coach for the Papakura Sea Eagles.
Thank you, Troy, and we are joined today by Songi Tupo from the Papakura Sea Eagles. Songi, I guess the first one, mate, your first year with the Sea Eagles as the head coach. How are things going? It's a halfway point of the season, approaches, and now we're into the second part.
It's been a very tough start in the first round for us. I think depth is our biggest issue. Having a few players depart from the club, we seems to be struggling in that area. This depth is really is the thing where we're very vulnerable in it.
Yeah, obviously that depth is tested with Willie Stowers out this week. Can you give us an update on Willie's injury? I believe he sustained a collarbone injury last week.
Yes, he did. I think Willie will be away for about the next 6 weeks, so that will make it even tougher for us. Willie's been a very good leader for us in the half, so yeah, we've got some young players that are coming in to fulfil the role, but I think we're going to miss the experience that Willie has.
In terms of the game plan, does much change without Willie there? He's obviously such an influential player. Do you have to change the game plan at all?
Not really. I think the young ones that are coming in, the process that we use is basically any player can just fulfil the role. But I think we're really going to miss Willie through his smarts and his experience.
You come off a loss to Howick last week. What were the major learnings out of that, and what are you looking to improve on this week?
I think last week we lost around the ruck area. Our control of the tackle control wasn't really much. We didn't win any tackles at all. So I think this week, if we ever kind of be successful, we need to sort of fix that around the area.
And I believe Howick sort of targeted the left edge with some success. Have you done a fair bit of work there with trying to tighten up that side of the field?
Oh, absolutely. But end of the day, if we can control the middle, they won't go to that edge.
Who are the key players on this Point Chev side? There's obviously a couple of former Kiwi internationals in there who stand out. Who are the key players for you from Point Chev?
I think Point Chev, it's all over the park, mate. We don't focus on one or two players. I think it's a team that we need to sort of control. They've got a very good system. They've got a very good process. So if we can maintain our ball and control the ruck area, we should be able to come out winners today.
And you're sitting 5th on the competition ladder heading into the second round. Are you kind of where you thought you would be after the pre-season?
I think we're sitting in a very good positions after, like I said, it being a tough start from the first round. So it's up to us now. You know, if we're ever going to crack into that top 4 or maybe top 2, it's up to us. It starts from here.
And just finally, looking ahead to this one, how's the sort of week been in terms of preparation, and how's the morale in the camp?
I think the morale in the camp is pretty positive, and we've always been, our preparation's always been good. It's just a matter of getting all the players fit and well. I think injuries is another major factor for us as well.
And just finally, on behalf of the Auckland Rugby League, we'll present you with your match ball for today from Steeden. So there you go, Songi. All the best for today.
Thank you very much, and thank you, Steeden.
And so we're going to hand over back to Troy now, who's going to have a quick chat to the Point Chevalier chairman before we get into the team lists and start building towards kick-off here at this SAS Fox Memorial Premiership match.
Thanks, Corey, and great to have the opportunity now to talk, as I just check on the mic there, great opportunity to talk to now one of the stalwarts of the Point Chevalier Rugby League Club, Glenn Poole, the chairman of the Point Chev Pirates. Glenn, if you can come in and join us, mate. Fabulous day for footy down here.
Oh, mate, absolutely awesome.
Just move into the screen here, mate, so we can see you. There you go. Okay, you obviously shrunk over the last couple of decades. So anyway, we're with Glenn, as I said, the chairman of the Point Chevalier Pirates. And first off, mate, yourself and the management, are you happy with where the boys are tracking halfway through the season, being on top of the ladder?
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely. We have. It's so great to see Zane up there doing an awesome job. It's what we were looking for a long time. We needed someone to sort of really take over the reins from Grant, and what a better guy, you know, than Zane to sort of pick it up. And man, he does an awesome amount of work behind the scenes. He's out there, you know, amongst a lot of the school teams and that, you know, like he's just always really at the top of his game at the moment. Yeah.
Awesome, mate. In regards to Walker Park, we're at Unitech down here at the what seems to be like a surrogate home for the Point Chevalier Pirates. Can you tell us what's happening with Walker Park and what's happening down there?
It certainly is a bit of a surrogate home for us here. Look, Walker Park was sort of, we were hoping to get it back at the start of the season, but weather and they were a bit of a late start. They were sand carpeting Walker Park and trying to rejuvenate it. And actually levelling it off. Hey, wow, you know, you don't have to run uphill anymore, you know. But those sort of things are a really long process, and it hasn't actually gone to plan. But you know, we were hoping to get it back maybe some part of the middle of the season, but that's not going to happen. And look. We're quite comfortable just camping up here at the moment, and we would certainly like to maybe look at it as a bit of a future venue that we can utilise and operate out of. Yeah.
It's a fabulous place to come to. If you're not sure where we're at, we're off Carrington Road, Gate 3. It's the Unitech Sports Ground. There's a seating stand area here for the main ground. And as Glenn said, you know, it's a pretty good place to come and watch some local footy and see the Pirates go round. In regards to the club, mate, all rugby league clubs need a lot of support now. Need sponsors and what have you. Can you tell us a bit about your sponsors and who they are?
Yeah, man. Of course, our major sponsor, of course, is Autex Industries. Look, if it wasn't for Autex, you know, I don't know where we would be, you know. But they're a wonderful, wonderful support of the Point Chev Rugby League. And
can I just cut in here for a sec? Big shout out to Mark Robinson. Good work, mate. Point Chevalier Pirate boy himself, came up through the grades, and I know he's very passionate, not just around rugby league, but also the Pirates. So big ups to the Autex crew. Who else do you have?
Oh, mate, look, Dale ITM, they're a huge part of our franchise, and also Greyland Tab. Man, you know, they play a massive part as sponsors within our club. Plus, there's, you know, oh my God, there's, you know, probably another half dozen or so minor sponsors that have come on board that look, we really value, and we just like to maximise their support, and they're just brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
In regards to the club, you've got a lot of fans, a lot of followers down there, not just here at home who come and, support the guys locally, but also on social media and around your website and that. The vibe for the committee and what have you, tell us a bit about that, and are you guys happy in regards to, you've touched on Zane, the coach, but about the team and their performance. Let's talk a bit about that.
Yeah, mate. You don't sit on top of the table, without a lot of hard work. And we appreciate everything that these guys are putting in. Like they're doing 4 nights a week. Man, they are really so committed to the cause, to picking up this Fox Memorial again this year. And what happens when you see that amount of enthusiasm is it trickles down into the club, and it sets up such an awesome culture that sometimes it just gets away on you. And I look at Saturday nights down there, man, and wow. You want a fun place to come on a Saturday night, it's down at the Pirates, man. It's just awesome.
What's happening at the Pirates tonight, mate?
No, we're just normal club night. Last week was a huge celebration. We had Dylan Moses do 100 games, and that was just massive. Man, like it was just out of this world. And I think, Moe got a really awesome buzz out of it. We really made a point of, 100 games was just sensational. Yeah.
Awesome, mate. And look, finally, and you sort of touched on it a wee bit, the vibe down there. Tell us a bit about the vibe with the Pirates. And, you guys have gone, back to back. You've went to the grand final last year and, sort of got pipped by the champions who you're playing today, the 2016 Papakura Sea Eagles. But what's the vibe like? Can you talk a bit about that?
Yeah, mate. What can I say? Everybody is behind this team at the club. Everybody loves what they're doing and support the amount of work and effort that they're putting in to bring it home again, And at the club, everybody's ticking along. Look, our schoolboys are strong. Our junior teams, they're all. We've had such a rejuvenation down there that it's all because of what this top team is doing today, And if I can say, yes, they are coming up against Papakura, always a very strong team, the holders of the Fox at the moment. And look, mate, I do wish them all the very, very best, and hope we have an awesome afternoon of footy. It's going to be fantastic.
Awesome, folks. Well, listen, if you've just joined us, we are live. We're streaming from the Auckland Rugby League website, aucklandleague.co.nz. Thanks very much to Glenn, Chairman of the Point Chevalier Pirates, joining us here on the live stream. As we get ready now, getting closer to kick-off, I'm going to get set now to throw back to Corey as we have a look at the team lists and who's playing today.
Thank you, Troy, and great to hear from Glenn there about some of the things going on at the Point Chevalier Pirates. Of course, a club who have had a remarkable transformation over the last decade. Some excellent things going on there at the Pirates, so great to get a little update from that. So we're going to run you through the team list for today's games. And it is a beautiful day down here at Unitec for the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership match. And when we do run you through these team lists, there's a few big names on show, a couple of former Kiwi internationals who are going to be taking the field today. So starting with the home side, the Autex Point Chevalier Pirates, and at the back, number 1, Kyle Nuiala-Latia. The wingers, there is a late change. Tapu Puli is going to wear the number 2 jersey, and the number 5, Sitivini Apollo. And the centres, Marlo Solomono, the veteran centre, joined by Francis Ledger. The halves are Dylan Moses, the captain, and Kevin Locke, of course one of those former Kiwi internationals we mentioned earlier in the match. The front row, Salinga Kapoa and Jonah Sofili. The hooker, another of the very experienced players in this side, a 36-year-old hooker, Tevita Latu, of course played for the Warriors and Cronulla Sharks at NRL level and also represented the Kiwis. And the back row, number 11, Preston Ricky. And the 12 is Abraham Papali'i, playing his first game for the club this year after returning from France. And we will touch on that a little later in the broadcast. A good story there in Abraham Papali'i, now back to play some footy in Auckland with the Pirates. The number 13 is Tani Rapira. He's going to be playing his last game for the club before heading over to the Burleigh Bears. And for the bench, the 14, Marin Murray Tiatavi Sui, Sioli Makaui, Edi Pailiki, and Satu Siao. And going across now to your Manaia homes at Papakura Sea Eagles, of course the defending Fox Memorial Premiership champions. At the back, Peter Olivetti. On the wings, Christopher Smithson and Ikwini Ropati. The centres, Kalipi Lui and Francis Totu. The halves are Ivan Hunt and Samisi Havili. Samisi is going to be wearing the number 16 jersey, but he will be playing halfback. In the front row, Zion Tassisi and Hemi Douglas. The hooker, another of the veteran players in this one, Kimi Uasi. Of course, a long-time member of the Vodafone Warriors junior system and has been playing for Papakura for a number of years now in the number 9 jersey. In the back row, Luke Stowers joins Sam Ikahifo and the captain, number 13, Roman Hifo. The bench is Sheldon Rogers, Fetu Ikahifo, Keanu Dawson, and rounding it out in the number 21 jersey, Wheeler Ailupo. So those are your two teams for today's round 10 SAS Fox Memorial Premiership match, and we are about 15 minutes away from kickoff now. We're going to cut across to Troy, who's going to run us through some of the results from last week and also a look at the other games on today.
Thanks, Corey. Just a bit of a recap as we're having a look at the beautiful day down here at the Unitech Stadium, as the Pirates look like they've just gone in again in the reserve match there against Papakura. We'll come back into screen. And if you've just joined us here, yep, come in, Corey. If you've just joined us here, my name's Troy Hardy of the Auckland Rugby League, alongside with Corey Rosser, who's with KiwiCentral.com.
Yes, that's right.
And just to recap, we're going to go through some of the matches from last week. In round 9, Mount Albert came off the back of a win against the Northcote Tigers, 18-6. Richmond Bulldogs had a pretty strong game out against Point Chevalier Pirates last weekend, and that was 30 points to 18 for the Pirates. Glenora Bears, they retained the Rooster up against the Te Atatu Roosters, and that game was 30 points to 6. Howick Hornets, a great game against the Papakura Prems, and at that game, Corey, there was Howick got out to a good jump. You know, they attacked the left edge there in the first 15-20 minutes, got a few tries up on Howick. Howick got a few tries up on Papakura, and it made it a long day at the office for the Sea Eagles. So hopefully they'll be looking to get a bit of momentum in today's game and look to, you know, do some damage against the Pirates in that match. So that final score, Howick Hornets was 34, Papakura Prems were 16. Mangere East 29 over Marist Saints 18, and that win for Mangere East Hawks was pretty important just in regards to the battle that's going on at the bottom of the ladder.
Yeah, that's right, a pretty important one there, and the Hawks have been really impressive over the last 2 weeks. Obviously won their last 2 games. They won an important one over Northcote, and what that's done is those 2 wins has jumped them out of the relegation zone, so they're on 4 points now, with Northcote and Te Atatu now at the bottom on the 3 points, so could turn out to be a crucial victory for the Mangere East Hawks, getting one over Marist. Not many would have picked them to do so, but it could be a big one in terms of what they're doing there. Of course, they've got Matt Pillman now back in charge, Troy, and speaking to the players this week, everyone's really enjoying that change of voice there, and they're doing some good things. So, you know, if we have a little look now at the table for the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership, the Point Chevalier Pirates, who we're going to see in action today, on top on the 16 points. They're 2 points clear of Glenora, Howick and Mount Albert, all on 14 points. Papakura in 5th position, probably a little bit lower than most would have expected them to be at this stage of the year, but they're a team that's going to get some players back and probably grow as we go on in this competition. Marist Saints, well, they're one of those teams that are always around that top 4 sort of mark. They're in 6th position right now, followed by the Richmond Bulldogs, the Mangere East Hawks, who we highlighted, and at the bottom, Northcote and Te Atatu. So plenty of action, both top and bottom of the table, Troy, and some good clashes today. I guess, you know, the other one to watch is the Glenora Bears holding the Conakry Minolta Rooster as well. So plenty going on. So do make sure you get down to your local game if you are able to. Otherwise, stay with us. We're kicking off in about 10 minutes or so. It's going to be an excellent game here today. I think a clash of 2 really well-matched teams. So we'll just run you through the other games that are on today, and Troy's going to have a quick look at them.
Okay, the other big matches in round 10 for the SAS Fox going off around the Auckland region is we have Northcote Prems at home, Northcote Tigers up against Glenora Bears, excuse me. Te Atatu, Jack Colvin Park, that's Aquatech Stadium on out there at Te Atatu Roosters home ground. They're up against the Richmond Bulldogs, and that's going to be a tough game for them, and I know the Bulldogs will be looking to get a bit of momentum off from last week's game. Marist Saints are up against Mount Albert Lions. Point Chevalier, as you know, we're live streaming that game against Papakura Sea Eagles. Now, just on the Papakura team, at the end of last week's game up against the Howick Hornets, young Willie Stowers, we thought he had a broken collarbone, or at least a cracked collarbone. Turns out it's a dislocation of the shoulder, so he's out for about 3 or 4 weeks. And that's a wee bit of playing talent that obviously the Sea Eagles would like to have back in their team. So a speedy recovery to you, Willie, and hopefully you're back on the field in no time soon. More importantly, just a quick shout out to James Dowie. Caught up with James Dowie line side. James Dowie did his ACL, and James is out for the balance of the season, and he'll be looking to get some strong rehab to get back into the football. And I know he's been to every training, he's been to every match, and heart goes out to James Dowie, so we hope you get better soon as well, mate. Finally, Mangere East are up against Howick Hornets, and Mangere will be trying to get another win on the board there as well. And I'm just going to ask the cameraman if he can catch the reserves coming off here. Can we cut to that?
And they've had a good win too, the Point Chevalier reserves. I just watched a little bit of their game, a dominant showing from them against Papakura, so all signs good for the club here. Of course, we saw Jordan Pinnock in action there. He played a little bit of under-20 football with the Warriors earlier in the year, playing reserve grade here, so plenty of talent on display, even in the reserve grade level here. So those boys now making their way off the field, and we're only minutes away from kick-off in the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership.
We just heard the hooter there, Corey, and we're back online again. There's about five minutes before kick-off, so we're just going to rip quickly through the Crown Lift Trucks Sharman Cup competition. And last week's round 5, Bay Roskill went down to the Otahu Leopards, so the Otahu Leopards are on top in that championship round for the Crown Lift Trucks Sharman Cup. In regards to the other match that we'll talk to at Mountford Park, Manurewa Marlins went down to Newland Stags, and Newland obviously took a lot out of that match, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of the Manurewa Marlin fans were a bit disappointed in regards to what the final score was there. Otara had a big day out against the Papakura Panthers. They won that match 43-26, and Ponsonby Ponies are back up against Ellerslie Eagles, and they won that match 76 points to 0. So just having a quick look at the championship ladder, and I'll hand that to Corey.
So no surprises at the top. It's the Otahu Leopards, of course, coached by John Ackland this year. Perfect 5 from 5 so far, followed by Ponsonby, Bay Roskill, New Lynn, and 5th position the Otara Scorpions, of course, one of those traditional heavyweights at the 2nd division level. We're in the Fox just a couple of years ago, followed by the Manurewa Marlins, Papakura Panthers, and Ellerslie Eagles at the bottom. So the Eagles yet to pick up a win this year, the only team yet to pick up a win. Hard season for Ellerslie. They were right up there with the top teams last year, but have lost a little bit of talent and struggling so far. So that's how your 2nd division ladder looks for the Crown Lift Trucks Sharman Cup. And Troy, it's good to see a pretty even competition this year with the addition of Otahu and of course Ponsonby back. Have signed some really talented players this year, and it's showing in their results.
Yeah, absolutely. They the game that we managed to live stream against the Otahu Ponsonby game, I think it was the first time they'd played in a number of decades at competition level, and that was just due to the fact that, as everyone knows, Otahu was in the Sharman Cup this season. That was a good romance day out for a lot of people who had been down to Carlisle Park and seen those two juggernaut teams go out against one another. However, Otahu's under John Ackland's coaching, I think he's brought through a number of younger players there, and he's got them pretty well drilled, and they've obviously got a wee bit of fitness. They probably don't have enough big or size across their team, but they certainly got enough in the tank to go the 80 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's going to be interesting when we get to the sort of business end of that competition. Of course, Bay Roskill doing some really good things this year as well, and looking pretty sharp. Narrow losers to the Leopards last week, so plenty to like in both the top and second tier of Auckland Rugby League football right now, as we kind of look a little bit at some of the key matchups that we might witness today. And for me, the one that stands out is the battle of the two dummy halves, Troy. We've got Kimi Iwasi for Papakura versus Tavita Latu. Two veteran players have both played international football. Kimi for Tonga and Tavita representing the Kiwis back in the early 2000s. What those two do around dummy half, I think, is going to be crucial. They've got some good forward packs to work with, so it's really about what those guys can do and kind of creating front football, I guess, for those forwards. And there's also some real talent on the back lines here, so I think really important how they manage the game there out of dummy half. They're two guys who probably aren't as dynamic as they were when they were younger, I dare say, but incredibly smart footballers, and they're going to manage this game well. So going to be good to see that. It's, I guess, a one-on-one battle that's going to be pretty interesting today. Of course, a number across the field. You've got other veterans like Roman Hifo, who's going to come up against Dylan Moses. I think that one's going to be good as well. They've clashed for many years, and of course come up against each other at national premiership level as well. So plenty to like about this one as we go down to the last few minutes before kick-off here, Troy. And what decides it today, in your opinion?
Mate, I think Point Chevalier will have a wee bit of the momentum. I think they've got a wee bit of emotion today, with a few of their people leaving the club. Also, conducive to that, we've got the Papakura Sea Eagles carrying a number of key injuries, and I think they're going to miss Willie Stowers today. So with that said, as we get ready for the kick-off, I think Point Chevalier at home have probably got a few points in them, but I guess time will tell, especially over the next 80 minutes. One of the things that we do need to talk about, Corey, next weekend. Team of legends, the 1977 Auckland Rugby League Championship team are coming to New Zealand. It's a 40th year reunion. We're going to be filming that live down at the Richmond home ground, and Richmond are actually on that day playing Northcote, but we have the likes of Kurt Sorensen, Dave Sorensen, captained by Dennis Williams. I can go on all day, Corey, you know that. There is also Mark Graham, player of the century, Freddie Arcoy. This team had nearly I believe 10, 11 Kiwi stars in it. 5 of them were captains of our national side. And the Auckland team, they beat Great Britain, they beat France, they beat Australia, they beat a number of international sides, and they're all coming together, and you'll see more on that as we progress through next week, heading towards the League Legends reunion. And mate, who are you looking forward to catching up with down there?
Oh, well, look, I think you look at some of the names out of there, and they were guys who were really pivotal in getting Kiwis over to play in the Australian competition. Of course, we saw the likes of Mark Graham go over there, make a real mark, Fred Arcoy as well, and Kurt Sorensen, of course, and his brother Dane, probably one of the first ones to kind of go over there and make an impact. So it's going to be really exciting to have those guys come back and hear those stories about what they encountered in those early days. Of course, times were very different back then. There was a lot of restrictions on New Zealand players going overseas, and that basically usually spelt the end of your Kiwi career at the time. So certainly going to be some pretty interesting stories there, but the one that stands out for me is Mark Graham, obviously the player of the century, and when you look at some of the guys that he beat to that award, just incredible. So going to be really interesting. But of course the one for younger audiences, and certainly people of my generation to understand, is that these guys had normal jobs, Troy. You know, I think Mark Graham was a drain layer at the time. Fred Arcoy was a storeman at the liquor store. He was driving alcohol around in between beating up Australia. It's quite incredible to think about these days. Oh,
absolutely, mate. I mean, yeah, and there were no 12 interchanges. And just as we sort of hearing in the background some clapping going on, we'll ask the cameraman just to throw now to the Point Chevalier Pirates as they're getting clapped on, and hopefully you can see them coming through now as they're getting ready to kick off for the main game here for the SAS Fox round 10. One big last name I want to share with you down there at the ARL reunion, Archie Bumper, Olsen Filipina. Olsen's back, ladies and gentlemen, and he's going to be on site down there at the Richmond Rovers. We encourage all of you to come down, come and meet all of these legends, get some selfies at about 1:30 in the afternoon and come and meet them all. So let's get into this game, Corey, as we get ready now. Point Chevalier Pirates are on the field here at Unitec Stadium as we wait for the Papakura Sea Eagles to come out of the changing rooms. My name's Troy Hardy. I'm with Auckland Rugby League. Calling the game today is Corey Rosser, who joins us from kiwicentral.com.co.nz. Any dots as you like. Get in there, get involved, and catch up with all of the news, views, and rugby league, not just at grassroots, but right through to the Vodafone Warriors. Okay, we're getting ready now, folks. Cut to the team list.
Yeah, and we will run you through the team list once again prior to kick-off, as the Point Chevalier Pirates are now out on the field. Papakura making their way out as well, so we'll quickly run you through those team lists again just to refresh the memory. And there have been a few changes from the team list that will appear on your screen, so I'll read out those changes now. But certainly good conditions for football today here at Unitec, and now we'll run you through the two teams who are going to take the field today. And at the back for the Autex Point Chevalier Pirates, Kyle Nui Ali Latia, and on the wings there's a late change. Tapu Poli is going to join Sidiveni Apollo. In the centres, Malo Solomona and Francis Ledger. The halves are Dylan Moses and the number 7, Kevin Locke. In the front row, Selinga Kapoa and Jonah Sofili. The hooker is Tavita Latu. In the back row, Preston Ricky and Abraham Papali'i. And the lock is 13, Tane Rapera. The 14 for the Point Chevalier Pirates, Marin Murray, Tiavai Sui, Sioli Makau, Edi Pailiki, and Satu Siao. And for the Manaia Homes Papakura Sea Eagles, at the back, Peter Olivetti. On the wings, Christopher Smithson and Ekwini Uropati. And the centres, Kalipi Louis and Francis Totu. The halves are Ivan Hunt and Samisi Havili. In the front row, the number 8, Zion Tasisi, is joined by 10, Hemi Douglas. The 9 is Kimi Uasi, who we highlighted pre-match as a key player in this one. And in the back row, Luke Stow is Sam Ika Hifo and the captain, Roman Hifo. And on the bench for the Sea Eagles, Sheldon Rogers, Fitu Ika Hifo, Keanu Dawson, and Wheeler Ailupo. So those are your two teams for today's SAS Fox Memorial Premiership match, the grand final rematch from last year. We're about to get underway, ladies and gentlemen, from Unitec here in Auckland. Promises to be an excellent clash between two very talented teams. Both have a couple of key players out, but they've got the depth to cover for it this year. And it's going to be Papakura kicking off.
and we're trying to work out whether that's north, east or west. Are we, Corey?
Yeah, it's somewhere. We'll say
Okay.
that they're kicking
Fantastic day,
kicking
though,
off to
mate.
the field end.
Fantastic day. If you've got nothing on, come and join us down here at Unitech Stadium, Gate 3 off Carrington Road. Come and witness a big match. Last year's champions, the 2016 SAS Fox Memorial Premiers, Papakura Sea Eagles up against the Point Chevalier Pirates, who were in the grand final on that day. And let's see what today's result's going to look like. Big shout out to the Point Chevalier Pirates ball boys. Thank you guys for looking after the main game today, and to all of the volunteers. Without the volunteers and Auckland Rugby League, a lot of what we do and try to achieve, wouldn't be possible. So a big shout out to the volunteers all around the Auckland region today, who are part of the all of the games, not just at Fox level, but down to the mini mods.
We look at the form guide quickly coming into this one. So Point Chevalier come off a win last week, so their last 5 games look like this: win-win, loss, win-win for them. They sit on top of the ladder. And for the Sea Eagles, they come off a loss to Howick last week, and their last 5 games look like this: win-win, loss, win-loss, and they sit 5th on the ladder right now, just 1 spot outside of those playoff positions in the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership. And a big thank you to the Auckland Rugby League for bringing today's live stream of the match free to air all around the world. No matter where you are, you can tune in on your cell phone, computer, whatever device you've got. Tune in, have a watch. It's free, and it's top flight rugby league, the best domestic rugby league you're going to see in New Zealand. And these 2 teams, undoubtedly 2 of the best. And away we go, and Kimiwasi will get us underway. The kick fielded by Kevin Locke. And it's Sofeli with the first hit up. Preston Ricky now taking it forward. Of course, Preston in the Warriors system. We saw him in action at the SportSafe ARL 9s earlier this year. Played really well for the Pirates. And is right in the mix for the Vodafone Warriors right now in their development systems, as Latu now comes into dummy half, shifts one out to Solomona, coming in looking for a little bit of work, up to halfway now. Latu gives them a little push up over the halfway line. They swing it out now. Kevin Locke to Ricky. So a good opening set here from Point Chev. They've gone 60 metres so far. Last tackle now, let's see what they've got. Locke moves out to first receiver, and he's going to look to the sky, and it's a big spiralling bomb from Locke. At the back, Olivetti's blinded by the sun. Ricky's picked it up. Offloads out the back. Thankfully for Papakura, it's not found a Pirates player, and they've been able to recover, but a really good start there from the Pirates. Troy, a positive end to their set there with that booming kick from Kevin Locke, and almost come up with the goods.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Point Chevalier Pirates going to use that tactics. They've got the sun at their back, so you'll see some high kicks from Kevin Locke as they put the Sea Eagles under pressure. So I agree with you, mate. The first set, Point Chevalier completed it, did very, very well. Let's see what Papakura Sea Eagles reply with.
So Douglas now carrying forward, 23-year-old in his 7th year with the Papakura Sea Eagles. Of course, part of their grand final winning team last year now as Hefo comes into first receiver, and you can expect to see a little bit of that today as they come out towards this right edge. Stowers is tackled. Olivetti now into dummy half.
Heard the call there from Point Chevalier. They're not looking for anything late. They're wanting to play a good, clean game, no penalties. So that's be one of their key things that they'll be looking to execute today as well, especially down inside their territory.
And not the ideal end to the set there. Hunt kicking it dead. So advantage Pirates after the first 2 sets. A good professional set from them. Although they didn't find points at the end of it, they finished it in the right place, whereas now Papakura will be defending from their 20, and they compound that with a penalty as well. So the Pirates now are going to be right on the attack by the end of this set, you would think.
That call there, the penalty was inside the D line, inside the 10. Not sure, but Point's kicking for touch.
So Locke kicks the touch, and they'll start this set just on halfway. It's pretty good halves pairing when you're able to have Dylan Moses, of course, a veteran of the Auckland club scene, played his 100th game for the Pirates last week, and he estimates probably about his 200th game all up. Of course, played some footy with the Northcote Tigers as well. Now, as Point Chev entered the attacking 40, Latu's tackled.
They got great shape too, Point.
Yeah, and of course, always well coached, and with those quality players, their structures are always on point. Moses now comes back inside. So Papakura just doing their absolute best to slow the play the ball down there as Hemi Douglas hangs around in the ruck there. They spread it wide, lock onto Ricky, and already we've seen plenty of involvement from Preston Ricky in this one. Playing on that side with Kevin Locke as Latu now goes into dummy half, hands it off to Kapoa, and you're not going to stop him from there. The big fella, one out, goes over, takes a couple of defenders with him. So the Pirates strike first blood here. It's going to be 4-0. The Autex Point Chevrolet Pirates over first on their second use of the ball. Of course, it came off that penalty which Papakura committed deep inside their own territory. Point Chev were able to start their set on halfway, and just too much talent in the end there, and from there, well, you don't stop Big Salinga. Crashes over next to the post, so Francis Ledger now to attempt the conversion to make it 6-0.
Yeah, it was a great completion of the set there, and just a big shout out to the Point Chevrolet sponsors. Autex, their main sponsors, followed up by Greyland Tavern, 09 Customs, 09 Scaffolds, Centres Health Wellness, the specialists that they have involved with the club down there, Benny Sports Medical, and Jets 24-Hour Fitness. As we're getting ready to take the kick, off to the left-hand side of the upright. Looks like he'll plant this no problem. Papakura Sea Eagles, Mania Homes Limited, Burnside Bros Landscaping Supplies, Harvey's Real Estate out there in South Auckland, Stresscrete Precast. Okay, that's a mouthful.
So Ledger does indeed convert, so it's 6-0, the home side leading, and a really good start for the Pirates. They'll be happy with that. They weren't impressed with how they played last week, although they got the victory up against Richmond. So a positive start for them in this one as we head back towards halfway to get things back underway. And Troy, the sun is going to be a factor today. Of course, it's hanging in the kind of bottom right-hand corner of the field as to where we're looking here, so probably going to be an issue for the Seagulls in the first half and the Pirates more in the second half. So we'll wait and see where that sun moves. But already we've seen Kevin Locke go to the air with a big bomb, perhaps looking to use that to his side's advantage.
So inside the first 5 minutes of the half, Pirates have crossed over. The kick is good. Score is 6-0. And Papakura Sea Eagle just resetting the ball on top of the tee. Over in the background there, you can hear the chants of the Pirates who have just done their damage in the reserves game and singing their winning song. Back to the action.
So a bit of a scrappy kick, which is fielded by Ledger, and they've got a broken line here, Papakura, and it could be trouble as Locke spins it wide to Ricky. They've got some numbers here, but good scramble in the end by Ivan Hunt.
Strong to keep it into play too. If he'd gone any further, they would have lifted him out over the sideline.
So
Point
Locke
back on
shifts
attack.
it out from dummy half, finds Sofeli up to halfway already, and the meters proving easy to come by so far for the Pirates. As Tane Rapera carts it forward. Latu into dummy half. Shifts it out to Moses.
They're making meters at will here, Corey.
We do apologise if we get any of the names wrong. The Point Chevrolet numbers, well, the kit designer perhaps hasn't done us any favours with the number choice on this one. There's a white on a white and green shirt, so it can be a little hard to identify. So we do apologise if we get any of the names wrong. We'll do our best to identify.
I conclude, though, that he is a Pirates player. As we get ready for the scrum to set, Point Chevrolet are back in the correct part of the field for them. And it'll be interesting now to see what the team chat will be for the Papakura Sea Eagles as they need to tighten up their defence and maybe try and slow down the ruck speed. Point Chevrolet are starting to dominate around that.
So Papakura feed the scrum. They go one out. Olivetti tackled first up by Ricky. We see Kevin Locke defending one out here in the centres. Or Solomona shifting one in.
Great hit on the line there. Good carry.
So Hunt into dummy half.
Oh.
And that is a commanding carry forward there. So the Sea Eagles now starting to make some ground, and that's what they wanted. They get the penalty. And it was an excellent carry from the number 8, Zion Tsesi. Just manages to engage the defender long enough to earn the penalty. They kick for touch, and here we go. So we're going to see the Sea Eagles in a good ball situation for the first time in this game.
Some good energy there from the Point Chevrolet Pirates. A lot of chat going on. They want to be fast on their line speed coming out of the D.
So Stowers takes it forward towards the sticks, tackled in a three-man effort involving Tavita Latu. Havili now into dummy half, wearing the 16 but playing halfback, shifts it off to Hefo, who finds Ikahihifo. They head out towards the left edge, and looks like Kavili is playing a little bit of dummy half, so you wonder if maybe Kimiwasi is playing the halfback role here, despite Havili being named
Good offload.
as the halfback. Good offload there out the back. Ikahihifo, he's going to have gone close. Referee says short of the line. Havili now into dummy half, hands it out, one out.
Oh,
And the big forwards of this Papakura Sea Eagles team now starting to make their presence felt. Havili shifts one wide to Hifo, who goes to Hunt. Hunt finds his centre back on the inside. It's Louis. Back towards the sticks. Tavitolatu just manages to hang on there. And they're only just short here, the Papakura Sea Eagles.
let's see what they do now. It's top of the count.
So they miss out Hifo. They find Wasi. Olivetti dribbles a little kick through. It's dangerous, but the chase is not on from the Sea Eagles.
Being diffused.
And they clean up at the back. The Point Chevrolet Pirates through Noali Alitia. At the back. So the first time we've seen the Pirates troubled in this game. They handled it pretty well there. Good defensive stand. Had to defend much of that set right up against their own line. But some good signs early on from Zane Pocklington's team.
Autex Pirates just grinding it out now. Couple of one-out hits. Locke's looking for the call.
So a better defensive set here from the Papakura Sea Eagles. We see them just restricting the meters of this Point Chev side.
Great kick.
And they kick down to the wing of Christopher Smithson, who let it bounce but then recovered. Again, you wonder if that sun came into the equation a little bit there, but recovers and avoids disaster. And looks like we've got an early interchange with Wila Lupo on the field. Of course, the big fellow we saw in action for the Otara Scorpions a couple of years ago when they came up.
Yeah, I love him, mate. He's got great style, that boy. He certainly, when he's got his wheels on, he makes his presence felt.
And he's gone on in his career as well. We saw him play for Auckland that year, I think it was 2015, and also graduate to play some footy with the Vodafone Warriors New South Wales Cup side. So great to see another of our local players advancing up the grades, and we see a big hit there. Papakura retain possession. Totu carries forward.
Mania Holmes, Sea Eagles, just resetting the play again. Here comes the bomb.
Good kick pressure there from Preston Ricky. Comes down the back. Spilt initially, and it is going to be a knock-on, so there is the error that the Papakura Sea Eagles wanted to force. A big spiralling bomb, and that looks to be the play of the day, really. And you can expect to see it throughout this match. So
Fantastic.
The Eagles, they're going to start this set about 10 metres off the line. Let's see what they've got in attack.
Joining us sideline today is Tale Ta'atao Anderson, and she's be updating some of the stats for us, and she'll do a recap on the scores towards the back end of today's game. So to all her family in Papua New Guinea, hope that you're sharing our live stream around the world, and make sure that you like, share and distribute as much as you can to get everyone involved with the game. Here comes Sea Eagles on attack.
So Havili now into dummy half, and it does definitely look like Wasi is playing the halfback role. Havili in at dummy half now as Hifo gets it, changes direction, heads back towards the middle of the park, draws in 3 defenders in the process, and they get the result they've wanted because there's a little knock on in there. Roman can't believe it, but it's going to be Point Chev ball.
12 odd minutes into the game as the scrum gets ready to be set, and the Point Chevrolet Pirates, sponsored by Autex, are 6, and the Mania Holmes Sea Eagles are 0.
Big thank you to our match officials present today. Of course, if you do want to get involved with the Auckland Rugby League Referees Association, we encourage you to do so. All the links on aucklandleague.co.nz. Great way to be involved in the game if you're not interested in being a player any longer, or perhaps you're new to the game and
great run from broken play
and want an entry into being involved. And as we see there, Troy, you mentioned a great run from Kevin Locke, just showing that elusive running, which he's been famed for over the years, of course, with the New Zealand Warriors. And also Wakefield over in the UK and Salford.
Yeah, you can hear the chat starting to ramp up around the Mania Holmes Sea Eagles. They're not happy with how many metres are gained for Point Chevalier coming out of the their half. They're up to the halfway. I think we're into about the 3rd, maybe 4th in the tackle count. Autex Pirates are certainly putting the hammer down at this point.
And that's not going to help. There's a penalty just hanging around in the ruck a little bit too long. I think it may have been Wasi who's been pinged. So Point Chev really going to put some pressure on here now. They'll start this set deep in attacking territory. So interesting to see what the Sea Eagles can come up with. Of course, they leaked off a pretty simple one-out play earlier in the match. But other than that, they've been pretty sound defensively. But it is just those metres coming out of yardage which they haven't been able to restrict, so no doubt Songi Tupou will be looking for an improvement in the line speed of his team. Mentioned last week, Troy, that their left edge got targeted heavily. Interesting to see if Point Chev go that way, but as we say that, there's an error in the play of the ball, a little drop. I think it may have been Tavitalatu who's put it down.
Just as they get ready to form the scrum, big shout out to our major sponsors of the Fox Memorial for Auckland Rugby League, SAS Sports Apparel. If you're looking for sporting equipment in regards to jerseys, clothing, sporting gear, go on their website, sas.co.nz, and hook yourself up with some great sporting apparel. Just into the tackle there. Autex Pirates slowing the play the ball down.
So good carry forward there, and the Sea Eagles making a little bit of ground through the middle of the park now. They need a quick play the ball. Let's see what they can do with it as Douglas carries forward. Good carry, but met excellently. Front on by Tavitalatu. They spread it wide. Hifo takes it up over halfway, gets the offload away now, and there's gaps here if they can execute the Sea Eagles. But Point Chev scramble to get the line reset. Havili into dummy half. Again out to Hifo playing that second receiver role. Finds Awasi, and they've got a gap out here on the left, and it finds Aialupo. Wearing the number 20 off the bench. And boy, he's hard to take down. There's about 5 involved in the tackle there. The ball's loose. Still, again, some hot potato stuff going on here. Awasi throws it out the back.
We've gone Fiji time. Good regather.
And eventually there's a knock on there. So it's going to be Pirates ball. But some enterprising footy there. Papakura doing their best to keep it alive. Always dangerous when you can get a man of Aialupo's size out there on the edges, running at the centres and wingers, Troy. It's always going to spell danger.
Showed great footwork too. You know, he turned that player inside out before Point Chev managed to regather and close the attack down. Special mention also to the Konica Minolta copier people. They sponsor the Root Rooster for the Auckland Rugby League, and also Crown Lift Trucks, who are the major sponsors of the Sharman Cup competition. Without the sponsors, a lot of what we do in the Auckland Rugby League would not be possible. So big love to them, and thank you for being on board and supporting the local game at Auckland Rugby League. Point Chev are on attack now. Looking to move it on the left-hand edge.
Yeah, nice
Great
run
tackle
from Ledger there, and Kevin Locke just buckling under the tackle there a little bit. Locke coming into dummy half. And already we've seen a little bit of the danger that Kevin Locke can offer with that elusive running.
Roman's doing a lot of chat for the Manaia Sea Eagles, the Manaia home Papakura Sea Eagles, and he's trying to get the team G'd up.
So good quick play the ball here, and let's see what the Pirates can do. Locke turns it back inside. Bit of a high shot there from Hifo, and indeed it will be a penalty. And we're going to have a little talking to here.
He sort of slipped. Roman's not that sort
of player.
I think
no malice in that one from Hifo, just slipped up a little bit. Was a big man running at him.
Barbecue invite, maybe? Maybe not.
Not yet. So Locke looks like is going to probably tap and go here, and indeed we are, so they get things back underway quickly, and Moses hands it off to Kapoa. Takes it up towards the middle of the sticks, about 20 metres off their line now, the Pirates. Latu into dummy half, shifts it wide to Rapera, who bounces out of 1, bounces out of 2, bounces out of 3. If he can get the offload away here, there's trouble for the Sea Eagles. Eventually they bring him down. Latu now directing a little bit of traffic along with Locke. They're going to head back towards the sticks. Sofeli held up just over the line. Watch for the Tavitalatu dart here. Instead they go out to the left. Moses hands on the ball, out to Locke. Numbers here if they can get it there, into the corner of the field, and it is going to be a try. And it's Setavini Apollo
Referee's
gone
just had
over in the
chat
corner,
with
and the referee
linesman
has
and
the chat, points to the spot. So a well-executed left-side shift there from the Point Chevrolet Pirates. We saw some classy touches from Tavita Latu, Dylan Moses and Kevin Locke. Of course, those real experienced guys that we highlighted pre-match as key players, and some nice touches from them there. Just the presence of mind to get the ball wide quickly. And Apollo takes full advantage by scoring in the corner here. So the Pirates with the chance to double their advantage. 10 points to 0 as it stands, with kick to come from the sideline. Francis Ledger will attempt the conversion.
I think with about 18 odd minutes into the game, coming up 19 odd minutes, the Point Chevrolet Pirates, sponsored by Autex, be quite happy with that, Corey, in regards to the scoreline. We're at 10 with kick to come, and one of the Pirates is getting a wee bit of attention on the field there by one of the trainers. If you've just joined us, this is the Auckland Rugby League Round 10 SAS Fox match. It's a live league match of the round. It's Point Chevrolet up against the Papakura Sea Eagles. Our streaming partners are CTAS, and we're beaming live from the Auckland Rugby League website, aucklandleague.co.nz. Share, send us some comments. We'll be picking them up at half time. If there's a question that you'd like us to ask one of the captains, more than happy to do so. Here we come with the kick. Great crowd starting to form down here, up on the bank, up on the main grandstand area, as well as up on the top of the street there, where they're looking down on the field. And what a grouse place it is to come and watch some good solid rugby league. And not enough wheat bix today on that sideline kick. Falls short by the crossbar, and we get ready now for a kick-off. What do you think the chat's been at behind the goal line there for the Papakura Sea Eagles, Corey?
I think it's just going to be about limiting those penalties. A couple of penalties have let the Pirates out of trouble a couple of times there, and Point Chev are making easy yardage, particularly coming out of their own half. So I think that'll be the main one for them. Probably line speed for the Sea Eagles, the big one here. But they're not playing too badly at all, Papakura, so won't be panic stations, that's for sure, as Tautu gets us back underway, and an awkward little kick down towards the right for Point Chev, but claimed well on the ground.
He's managed to disguise that.
So Ledger into dummy half, comes back towards Moses. And good to highlight Dylan Moses' contribution to the local game last week. Of course, 100 games for the Point Chevrolet Pirates, and he thinks probably about 200 all up when you add on his few years spent at Northcote as well. Northcote, of course, is junior club, and speaking to him a couple of weeks ago, he hinted that he may return there next year to finish his career with the Tigers. Of course, his family's still very heavily involved at Northcote.
Yeah, big shout out to Bobby. Bobby's the chairman of the club over there, and we hope that your Northcote Tigers are doing well today, Bobby.
And a towering kick down here, and this is going to be an awkward one to take, and indeed it is. Olivetti lets it bounce, jumps up, almost taken out by his own teammate, but recovers in the end. And that sun is causing chaos for both teams, actually. So going to be very interesting to see the role that plays in the remainder of the match, as Alupo now comes in for some work. Tautu takes it up, but the line speed from the Pirates, Troy, really restricting this Papakura go forward so far.
Yeah, I think too is there's not a lot of creativity at the moment for the Sea Eagles as they're coming out of their half. It's a bit like deja vu. They've been down here again. The referees pulled that up, and the Mania Home sponsored Papakura Sea Eagles will be happy with that penalty as they get to have a kick and get down into the Autex Pirates territory. Well, maybe not. Bit of a short kick there. And here we go.
Just quickly, a shout out to our competition sponsors, SAS, the referees gear that they've put together for our officials today, looking very sharp in the orange. So good to see the refs looking stylish and doing a great job at the same time. So a big thank you to SAS for their work putting together these uniforms. As we see there, a short ball which is spilt out, so Papakura have wasted that opportunity. A loose carry there, the ball spills out. So Point Chev back on the ball now as Latu comes into dummy half.
It's a fantastic ground down here, Corey. I've just seen a lot of babies and prams and what have you. It's a big family day down here at the Unitech Stadium. If you've got nothing on, please come down and join us. It's free entry. The facilities are fantastic, and what a beautiful day it is for Auckland Rugby League and the action here of the Autex Pirates up against Mania Homes Papakura Eagles.
So the Pirates now heading up towards halfway, and they're just winning this arm wrestle right now. A few sloppy errors as you see. Lock, I believe it is, break down on the right. He's into space, finds Ledger in support. And Ledger perhaps makes it a little harder than he needed to at the end there. A little bit of footwork to finish over the line. So Francis Ledger has scored under the post after a break from Kevin Locke down the right, but just in back play, which may have been missed on the camera, we've seen Francis Totu go down with what looked like a hammy injury. Troy's just collapsed with no one around him, so do hope he's okay down there. Looks to be in a little bit of discomfort on the ground as the medical staff come on, but the Point Chevalier Pirates go over for their third try, and really it was the break down the right-hand side from Kevin Locke, just showing that pace, the vision to find the gap, and good support play from Ledger himself, of course, a former New Zealand Warriors squad member in terms of their development system. Of course, had that terrible injury, I believe broke his neck, had to play in a sort of cast and spent a bit of time overseas. I think tried out for the NRL Rookie Show as well last year. So good to see Francis back playing some local footy.
Just as they're doing that, when the Pirates player went over and scored that try, sort of ran around the SAS bolster there, looked like a turnstile, reminded me of Carlo Park going to the main game back in the day.
And it did not take long for my co-commentator to get nostalgic, and I can tell you he's very excited about next week's 1977 reunion. Of course, we are seeing the Grand Slam winning team from Auckland getting back together 40 years on from their incredible feats in 1977 when they defeated Great Britain, France and Australia in the calendar year. And of course, you know, that year forming so much of what's special about rugby league in New Zealand. Of course, they were around that time started competing in the Amco Cup, and probably Troy really when Australians started to take notice of what we had at club level. They knew what we had at national level through the Kiwis, but that Auckland team was something else that year.
Absolutely, and I think it was, as we mentioned earlier before the live stream, just as the referees blowing time off there, you know, a lot of people that came from that team created the pathway for, you know, professional rugby league players to journey offshore and to play on the New South Wales Rugby League Cup, was what it was called back then, before NRL. And, you know, the likes of Freddie Arcoy you touched on, North Sydney Bears, Olsen Filipino went to Balmain as well as North Sydney, Mark Graham. The list goes on, the Sorensen brothers, I think Dane was one of the first over there in 78, followed by Kurt in 79, and didn't he take the place by storm? That was the first time of becoming a Cronulla Shark supporter at the time. So all those boys are flying in next week. They're coming from all around Auckland as well as from overseas. Please come and join us down at the Richmond Rovers, a rugby league from 1:30 on. Come and have a selfie with a legend. It will be a fantastic day. Back to the game.
And of course, if you can't make it for that one, we'll be live streaming the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership match from 2:30 p.m. that day between the Richmond Bulldogs and the Northcote Tigers, and it shapes as a pretty important match in terms of that battle, I guess, towards the back end of the table right now, but a victory there can really help either team, so it's going to be a good game as well as the festivities going on as the Seagulls get us back underway now, and we do have the Pirates now out 16-0 leaders as we approach the final 15 minutes of this first half. And it's been a quality first half, but Point Chev clinical so far. They've only made a couple of errors, and when their opposition have made errors, they've taken full advantage. So they'll be pretty happy with the start they have made to this one. And of course, some of the talent on display in this team is just crazy, really, when you look at, you know, former Kiwi internationals in Kevin Locke and Tavita Latu. Also got guys like Abraham Papali'i, who have played at those high levels. Marlo Solomona, of course, scored a hat-trick at NRL level back in 2007 or 2008 for the Warriors against the Bulldogs. So some incredible talent on display here at the local level as Locke dinks a little kick over the top, and it's a really good kick, which Apollo gathers.
Great D.
And he tried to get the offload away there, but an excellent covering tackle from the Papakura Seagulls. Didn't quite manage to catch the number of the player there, but excellent cover defence there from the Seagulls. And we were just mentioning that class that the Point Chev do have in there. Kevin Locke, just some good vision to dink the little kick over the top. Found the space, and it was a near thing. But the Seagulls hold on.
just get the feeling the Autex Pirates are looking well structured. Great communication, the body language is strong, and they're certainly, you know, dominating the game so far.
So Olivetti takes it up to halfway. Shifts it off to Hefo now.
Great run by Roman.
And that is indeed a really good run. They need a quick play the ball at the end of it. Which Point Chev are doing
Strong
their best to make sure they don't get. Latu goes in around the legs just to try and slow that play the ball down a little bit there. Roman looking up at the referee, hopefully for a penalty. Nothing coming. Wasi now shifts it out wide. Lupo now into a bit of space. Hands it off to Smithson. Smithson's got some pace down the sideline. Good cover defence from Point. They throw it back infield now. Wasi, there's numbers out here on the right if they can get there. Wasi hits the kick across. They're into space if they can get it.
He's got the bounce. No.
And Louis perhaps had the chance there to claim the ball.
Referee was definitive though. He was back out marking the D line for Seagulls. No issues there.
So we've seen the Seagulls pretty keen to go down their left corridor. And I guess avoid this side of the field, which has a fair bit of experience on it, especially when Kevin Locke's defending on this side as well. But there's a good first up tackle from the Seagulls there, and we see a little bit more intent in their line speed now. The 15 is on, Fetu Ikahifo, a 28-year-old in his second year with the Papakura Seagulls. Previously played some footy with the Mangere East Hawks. And as the ball comes out now to Preston Ricky, and Preston Ricky into space. The cover tackle coming across from Olivetti. And gets the offload away, and that is an excellent try for the Point Chevalier Pirates. And I think it's Tane Rapera that's gone over. Referee points to the spot, but a lovely break down the left from Preston Ricky. And it's either Tane Rapera or Malo Solomono that's gone over. We do apologise, it's hard to make out the numbers on these Point Chevalier jerseys, so we will try and get confirmation of that one for you. But an excellent team try there from the Point Chevalier Pirates. And Troy, it's that left edge again, which you know, Papakura really struggled with last week. Howick took full advantage of it, and again, it's been a favourite spot for Point Chev so far.
Yeah, Point's done pretty good down there, and as we're sort of talking over, Roman's down there, and he's reading the riot act, ladies and gentlemen. He wants these boys to get more engaged and get a wee bit more energy off their defence line, and he's certainly giving them the message. So Sea Eagles really need to come back now and respond. And just coming up on screen now, ladies and gentlemen, you can see that he's actually laying the law down, and he's talking to all the boys there to get, you know, highly engaged, because if they don't, Point Chevalier is just going to get this roll on. They're going to get momentum. They look strong on both sides, Corey. I know we've talked about that left-hand corridor. The try just before this one over on the right side, you know, they're starting to open up both left and right, and I think, you know, they're looking pretty impressive at this point.
So Ledger is going to attempt the conversion.
Just as they do that, ladies and gentlemen, please join us next week for the live league action. The game will be coming live from the Richmond Bulldogs. Greyland Park will be there up against the Northcote Tigers. And Corey and I will be calling that match from 2 p.m. on. And as we said earlier, all the league legends from the 1977 Championship Grand Slam team will be down there and live with us as well.
So Ledger moves in now to attempt to convert the try, and looks good. Both flags are up, and indeed it is converted. So it's the Point Chevalier Pirates 22, Papakura Seagulls 0 as we approach the final 10 minutes of this first half of the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership match here from Unitec in Auckland. We've got the ladder leaders, the Autex Point Chevalier Pirates, taking on the 5th place Manaia Homes, Papakura Seagulls, and so far it's one-way traffic. The Pirates looking classy. And that time it was just excellent work to execute a bit of an overlap out there on the left, and young Preston Ricky got into some space. Got a fair bit of toe on him for a second rower, Troy.
Absolutely.
And had the presence of mind to get play back inside when he was initially tackled, and found the space in the end. A shout out to our volunteers helping out today, the match managers and various people around the grounds helping to make it work, from the ball boys as well, right up to our match managers. So a big thank you for dedicating your weekend to the local game. It's much appreciated, and you help make the game tick.
Here we go.
And straight away it's a spread from the Pirates, and they're coming down towards this left corridor again. And some pretty enterprising play there from Point Chev. You don't often see a spread like that off the kickoff, so they've clearly got a plan in mind that they want to
I
execute
think
here
they're
and
growing
go
in
straight through it.
confidence, eh, Corey? Growing in confidence.
A good carry forward there from the 15. Sioli Makawi. Another of the players in this team who played in France. Of course, the store manager at the team's sponsor, Autex, in his 9-to-5 job.
And I understand Mark Robinson's down here today, the CEO from Autex, so he'll be cheering on the green machine, and hopefully, you know, they'll turn on a good day for him. Looking at the score, 22-0, I think he'd be pretty happy at this point in time. Here come the Mania Homes Papakura Sea Eagles now, and let's hope that you know, they can make use of the territory whilst they're down here in the Pirates' quarter.
We've got young Sheldon Rogers on in the number 14 for Papakura, of course a Waikato boy. Come up from Hamilton, he's only 17 years of age, so to be playing at this level already, very impressive for Sheldon. He's a member of the Warriors under-20 squad currently. Played New Zealand under-16s as well, Roosters SG Bull.
We've got another big unit running on for the Papakura Sea Eagles. Is that one of the Wheeler boys over there?
So Hefo now back up to his feet, hands it off to Keanu Dawson. Ngaruawahia Panthers Junior, spent some time with the Burleigh Bears. And both the Newcastle and Warriors under-20s. Now they shifted out towards Wasi. Wasi pokes a little kick through, might have a little bit too much on it. And it is going to drift dead. Just
down there behind the dead ball line are some Point Chevalier Pirate stalwarts. They've told us not to mention their names. They are in secret, they are incognito, but they're looking after the ground scoreboard today. So big shout out to them, and thank you for all the work that you boys do as well. And hopefully that's green tea they're drinking out of that flask.
So we are going to have a restart of play now, and it's going to be the Sea Eagles who retain possession after Point Chev were forced to take the ball dead on that occasion. So it'd be huge for Papakura if they were able to strike a blow here before half-time. Mawasi fields it, and here comes the big fella off the back fence.
Oh,
excellent carry forward there from
nice
Keanu Dawson. But the ball comes out. And I think it's going to be an error. There's no call for a strip there, so it looks like it will be an error at this stage. Wasi's holding on to the ball, doesn't want to let it go.
Sea Eagles are going to feed.
And so I think it is going to be a Point Chev ball by the look of things. Wasi's finally given up possession. And perhaps both teams... No, it is going to be a Sea Eagles ball, so perhaps lucky to maintain possession on that occasion. Wasi now to feed the scrum. They're set out towards the right. They find Hunt. Olivetti floating around out the back there. He'll go into dummy half now. And Ailupo now come back towards the middle of the field. He started out on the edge, now appears to be playing more as a middle forward here. They shifted out to him, and here he is, the man of the moment. Wheeler Ailupo, he's going to go very close, but a good three-man tackle from the Pirates. Preston Ricky in there to finish it off. Rogers into dummy half. Rogers burrows. He will have gone close here, but held up is the call. So no luck for the Sea Eagles on that occasion. Good presence of mind there from Rogers to dart. It was a good carry forward from Ailupo and a quick play of the ball. But Point Chev do well to hold him up as we enter the final few minutes of this first half in the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership clash from Unitec in Auckland. Spread it out. Ailupo now, quick hands. They got numbers here if they can get it there. But an excellent tackle from Malo Solomona.
Yep. He saved a try there, definitely.
Prevents any second phase. Rogers now shifts it back towards the middle of the sticks. Dawson, Wasi, he's going to put one high. Smithson's going to go up for it, but well taken in the corner. And the Pirates survive another goal line stand. Their defence has been impeccable so far on their own goal line.
Good strong D. Roman's yelling at them to move out onto the right edge here.
Yeah, and line speed absolutely crucial here for the Sea Eagles, and it's good. Wasi now leading that one. Forcing Point Chev almost into negative yardage there. Excellent. Again, Hunt leading it. They need to be able to trap the Pirates here. They really need points before halftime here.
Run.
An
Great
excellent
run.
hit.
Oh.
Led by the big 15, Fetuika Hifo.
Roman introduced himself.
It's a massive hit now as Lock spreads wide and they come up with the error.
Crowd starting to amp up here behind us too, Corey. There was a couple of big hits there and an opportunity that's just gone astray.
Yeah, and put that error down to the intent from Papakura there. Excellent line speed, excellent aggression in their tackles. And they force the error as we enter the final 3 minutes now of this first half here at Unitec in central Auckland.
Just be indicative on that time there, Corey. Our clock is close to the actual time, ladies and gentlemen, but we've had a couple of stoppages, so we're not going to be far off the mark.
Rogers shifts it out to Ailupo, another big carry and pulls in 4 defenders. Rogers to Ika Hifo. Excellent carry again, really good leg drive. Rogers back towards the sticks. Wasi with the hands on the ball, finds Hifo.
Maybe should have kept still going to that edge, but he's
Van
come
Hunt.
inside. Oh!
And he's going to go very close, runs into the SAS bolster there. Just short of the line.
They're showing some intent here, Corey.
Wasi now out back door. Olivetti, they've got numbers here. Surely it's going to be a try this time. And Christopher Smithson, nice little bit of footwork to step back inside. And the Manaia Homes Papakura Seagulls are on the board. It's taken them the best part of 38 minutes to get there, but they are on the board. And the visitors registered their first points of the day, and it's a well-worked left side move there. And they'd gone there a few times in this game, but that time well executed. And Smithson just having the patience and the presence of mind to step back inside, pull the defender out, and they score in the corner. So nice work there from Papakura. It's been a tough half for them. A couple of errors have really put them under pressure, but that's a vital try right on half-time. And you would think it was one they needed if they were going to be a realistic chance in the second half. So Songi Tupou will be happy with that. His side hit back, pick to come.
Not only Songi Tupou, but there are 2 stalwarts of the club over there. They're tireless in the amount of work that they get through, both Maud and Dave. So Maud and Dave be very, very happy with the Papakura Seagulls going in there on the left edge. And as they get ready for the kick, and the kick's been done, I think that was waved away.
The kick was wide, so it is going to remain 22 points to 4. The Point Chevalier Pirates leading the Papakura Seagulls. And just a reminder on our clock there, it's not quite in sync with the match clock, so there will be a little bit of a difference between our clock and the match clock, but we're somewhere, I would think, in the last 2 minutes or so of this match. And the Pirates, not in any rush to get us back underway. They'll be pretty happy to head into the sheds at 22 points to 4. It's been a good half for them.
And if you've just joined us on the live stream, big shout out to our live stream partner CTAS. And at halftime, we'll have the Auckland Rugby League News weekly report, and we'll be catching up with what took place out at the Howick Hornets last weekend. There was a memorial game that took place out there, so stay with us.
So Pirates get us back underway, and into that sun, Hunt fields it, hands it off to Ailupo, and who would be a defender there? Excellent effort though from the Point Chev chase. They come out towards the left now, the Seagulls, and they've got more points on their mind before half-time. As they come up towards halfway, Wase now getting at the dummy half, hands it off to Sam Ika Hifo. Hifo in at first receiver again, as we've seen so often in this game. Hunt rushed, and a really good tackle there from Kevin Locke. Got up in his face and forced the error. Hunt was looking to go out the back where they had some numbers out here on the right, but an excellent read from Kevin Locke forces the error, and Point Chev should now finish this half with the ball. And there's going to be a penalty there. Sam Ika Hifo just taking too long.
What would you do here, Corey?
In the play the ball.
With the minutes ticking down, would you take the kick, or you actually go for the play?
I'd be going for the play, Troy. I think at this stage, although with that siren in the background, that perhaps changes my coaching strategy on that one. So.
And we're now going for the kick.
So we'll have a late change here. You take the kick here and try and take it up to 24 points to 4. Give yourself a 20-point advantage heading into half-time. It's been a really good half for the Autex Point Chevalier Pirates. And Ledger's going to attempt this conversion from, I would say, about 35 metres off his line. And as we do go into half-time, we are going to go to a little update from the Auckland Rugby League to see what's been going on around the grounds in the last week.
I'm just joined sideline here by Tale, roll my eyes back in my head, Anderson. And Tale, can you tell us a little bit around the Howick game last week and the Memorial Shield that was played for there?
Yeah, sure. So Howick played Papakura last weekend for the Leah Johnston Memorial Shield, which is a tribute to Leah, who is a long-serving member who passed away from Howick, and she's also the auntie of former coach Richie Blackmore. So it was a great game. Howick came away with the win, and they retained the shield for another season.
Awesome, Tale. Just as the kick is attempted and it is waved away, we go to the half-time break, and Autex Pirates are 22, the Mania Home Sea Eagles are on 4. And I also understand you're working on a big project this week with the 1977 Auckland Rugby League champion reunion. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, it's a really big project. We've got all 19 players from the 1977 Auckland International Championship team coming down to the Richmond Club on Saturday. So if anyone's around, come on down. You can meet all the players and have some selfies with them. They're looking forward to it.
Okay, we're going to hand back to the CTAS crew now as we catch up with the Auckland Rugby League weekly report, and we get to catch up with a wee bit of action around the Auckland region. If you've just joined us, please make certain that you're sharing and liking all of the action on the social media sites, and check out the website aucklandleague.co.nz. Just as we get ready for the file to come up, the Pirates are going into the changing room, and we have a 10-minute break at half-time. Papakura Sea Eagles have decided to stay on the field. Here we go, weekly update report. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Auckland Rugby League weekly update report. And my name's Troy Hardy with the Auckland Rugby League, and I'm with
Tale Anderson.
Good to see you, Tale. So we're helping out today just in regards to presenting a couple of news items that we want to recap on, and we're turning our attention back 2 weeks ago. The Auckland Rugby League Vulcans, the Women in League tournament that was held by the New Zealand Rugby League. They had the Nationals on, and our Vulcans team did very, very well at that tournament, Tale.
Yes, they did.
And they beat Counties, who are, I think Counties, it was the first time they'd actually suffered a loss in 4 years. So big congratulations to the Auckland Vulcans team that took part in that. Well done. And we're going to have a quick catch up now just to see a wee bit of a snapshot from what took place on that day.
Hold the ball, Billy! Go, Billy, Billy! Hold the ball! Hold the ball! Hold, hold! 1 minute, we lost it, 1 minute. Shut it down! Shut it down! Kill it!
Everyone, congratulations to both teams on an excellent game.
Yeah, very happy, mate. Obviously, it's a long way to go, but yeah, unbelievable good start for us. You know, really, really happy with the girls' effort. Did the basics really well, and lucky enough to get the 2 points. I'll get the win. Yeah.
The Howick Hornets are celebrating after beating Papakura last weekend as they hold on to the Leah Johnston Memorial Trophy for another round. Leah Johnston was a life member of Howick and was also the auntie of Richie Blackmore and Darnell at Howick. So every time they come together, they now play for the Memorial Trophy.
It was a fantastic day down there for round 9 for Game of the Round for the Auckland Rugby League. Howick certainly put the Sea Eagles under pressure in the first 20 minutes or so. They attacked the left edge and got a few tries out in front, and that certainly turned into a hard day in the office for the Sea Eagles. On the day, he managed to catch up with James Dowie. His ACL is keeping him out for the rest of the season. And also more bad news for the Sea Eagles. Young Willie Stowers cracked a collarbone, and it looks like he'll suffer that for the rest of the 2017 SAS Fox season as well. Anyway, without any further ado, we're going to actually clip across now and just catch up on a recap at the Howick clash against the Sea Eagles. Just played round 9.
The Leah Johnston Memorial Shield came about last year when she passed away, and there was a connection between Howick, with Leah being a life member and being involved in the club for probably over 30 years, her nephew Richie Blackmore coached Papakura last year. So with us being family and this is her club, we made the connection with Papakura, and it's just awesome that the two clubs have continued it to carry it on this year.
Papakura Seagulls are up to 5th in the ladder now. Is this a must-win game today?
Oh, I wouldn't say a must-win. I think it'll be good to have 2 points. It'll be also good to have a win, you know, to give the boys a bit of a boost. But, you know, no panic yet. There's still the whole second round to go. Like I said in the beginning anyway, from the start, we didn't really have a good preparation at all. But, you know, we're progressing each game, and we're going to get better. We will get better, you know, as time goes along. So we're looking forward to the second round.
Up against Papakura Seagulls. You know a wee bit about Papakura. For you personally, what does this mean?
I got no ill feelings for Papakura. I spent my playing career there, and yeah, a lot of friends, a lot of family. Yeah, still probably a club that I've got a soft spot for, but down to the business, and yeah, it's a game that I want to win.
Game you want to win. So a little bit of motion here for today.
For me personally, yeah, definitely. If you can say it, bit of a state of origin. It's you know, a few boys from Papakura come here and they're probably hurting, but they've come for the opportunity, I guess, and hey, no ill feelings against them. So yeah, definitely a game that I want to win, and hopefully we do that, and it's a good game all round.
We play for the Leah Johnston Memorial Cup, and we remember Leah, who was a stalwart of the club, and you know, and again, this is a part of being in playing league. You know, these sort of people who put all the efforts in the background, and for you guys to play, and for us to enjoy. So we've got Carly here, who's Leah's daughter. So we'd like to let her present the shield to the winning captain, which is Jethro Friend from Howard.
Yeah, just a quick one, and then thank you, bro.
There's a lot of action happening at the Richmond Rugby League Club this month. This Sunday we have the Under-12 Mod Gala Day, so come on down and check out the talent. We also have the 1977 Auckland International Championship team celebrating 40 years since they beat Britain, France and Australia in 1977.
It's going to be a fantastic day down there on the 24th of June. That's at Richmond Rugby League's home ground in Greylin. Come and meet some live league legends. There's 40 years reunion in regards to some of the players that have taken part down there. The famous Dennis Williams was the captain of this team, leading guys like Olsen Pulapona, Dane O'Hara, Freddie Arcoy, Mark Graham, Kurt Sorensen, the list goes on and on and on. So if you get a chance, come down and join us. It'll be a fantastic day, and you'll be able to see some real true league legends of the game at Richmond Rugby League on the 24th of June. Do you want to say that? Okay, yeah, go. Okay, go.
And that's the wrap up for the Auckland Rugby League news. We are heading back into round 10 of the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership with the Point Chevalier playing Papakura at Unitech Sports Field. Back to Troy and Corey.
Round 10 of the SAS Fox Memorial, and good crowd down here today, Corey. The sun's brought them out, got a fantastic lot of support. Just up in the background there I see a famous face, Dave Bailey of the Bailey Brothers.